timbers!
Welcome, Buccaneers, to the Pixel Pirate vlog. This is your host, the Pixel Pirate, and today we've got a bunch of news. Actually, it's all happening today. First and foremost, the first thing I want to discuss is Obsidian apparently have been pitching a new Star Wars RPG that will be set between episodes 3 and 4. This is according to PC Gamer. Now, if you don't know who Obsidian are, where the crap have you been? But aside from that, the games that they have released, well, they released Knights of the Old Republic #2 in 2004, then Neverwinter Nights 2 in 2006, as well as the 2 expansion packs for Neverwinter Nights 2, then Alpha Protocol, Fallout New Vegas, Dungeon Siege 3, blah. They're creating South Park: The Stick of Truth, and I'm not sure if were they part of THQ and now they're part of different. I'm not actually sure on that, and not solid. And they're also developing The Wheel of Time and Project Eternity. So Project Eternity was on Kickstarter, if I'm not mistaken. But there's not a great deal of information on that. In any case, they have a background of Star Wars games, so that's a good thing. And the Star Wars game that they created wasn't too bad. It wasn't stellar, but, you know, some people might disagree with me there, and if you do, let me know in the comments. But I think that the consensus is that #1 was better than #2. Not sure there, but that's good news. But it's only at the pitch stage, so just keep that in mind. Just have a drink here. Just keep that in mind because it could turn out to be nothing. And of course, now that Disney own the IP rights to Star Wars, that could be a bad thing or a good thing. I don't know. LucasArts seem to have in the past probably given the IP to people that shouldn't have never had it, and they've created games that are just awful. Disney seem to have a history of bringing out games that aren't too bad, actually, that sell and do well. So whether they'll be more stingy with giving the IP out to just any old developer, I don't know. Time will tell. But hopefully it evolves into something and we get a new Star Wars game. That'll be cool. Alright, so in other news, I don't know, I was actually quite surprised about this. The Elder Scrolls MMO, the Elder Scrolls Online, won't be first person, according to a video that I have seen on Reddit, which kind of sucks. I don't know why they're doing that. Now, there appears to be some confusion in the discussion surrounding this issue, because if you read the rhetoric from the developers, it appeared as though it would be first person, but actually it's not going to be. They said things like the combat would be like Skyrim. Now, Skyrim can be third person, but also it can be first person. And they also said things like you'll be able to aim your weapons with the mouse and stuff like that. So, but in reality, it's going to be a hotkey based game. So it's not going to be Twitch based as far as I can see. Of course, no one's really seen any gameplay footage, so this is all up in the air at the moment, but it seems that it won't be first person. And that, quite honestly, is a deal breaker for me. I won't probably buy it at all now, unless they come up with some stuff that is mind-blowing. Basically, all they're doing is they're not even reinventing the wheel. They're just using the same old crap wheel that's been used for the last 15 freaking years, and no one wants it anymore. Games like this just die in months now, and I think that if they're just going to go through down that same path, they are not listening to people and what they want. They're simply not. They're just looking at the dollar signs that, you know, games like World of Warcraft get, and thinking that they can capitalise on that. That's what I can see from their behaviour, if that's true. So, yeah, basically it's dead to me now. Dead to me. I'll still be keeping an eye on it, but I'm not nearly as interested as I was before. Not even close, which is a real shame, because an MMO done right in the Elder Scrolls world would have been freaking rad. Would have been so cool. But yeah, it seems they're making mistake after mistake, and that it's just going to be a terrible game. So, but time will tell. I'm withholding my reservations. It's just giving opinions on the information available. Of course, my information could be completely blown out of the water later, so I'm not going to make definitive judgments by any means. So keep your eyes peeled on that, and if you have any information, then do let us know in the comments. Alright, so the next piece, the next tidbit, the next morsel that we have for today is the Rage Toolkit is now available on Steam, which is actually pretty cool, because these are the tools that they actually created the game with, as well as the DLC, of course. It's the building tool that they did everything with, from game maps to assets, everything. So, according to the Beth Shiga blog, blah, 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 you can download it. It's 35 gig, which is massive, but of course, if you want to create maps and stuff like that, then, that's a small amount. And I'm hoping this will bring the game into some kind of a higher lifespan, because whilst the game's not super awesome by any means, it's pretty average if I'm honest, it looks really pretty though, and I think that people could bring out some really awesome mods. Now, ID Software are definitely known for their engines. Engines with ID Software, they're just... If you're going to mention engines, you're either going to mention Epic or you're going to mention ID Software. So Unreal Tournament, if you don't know who Epic is. And then, of course, the Doom 3 engine for ID Software. And the Doom 1 engine and Doom 2 and so on and so forth. And, of course, the Quake engine too. I could go on, but anyway... their engines are marvellous. They're very well built. What's his name? John Carmack is the man for engines. That's what he's known for. And, in fact, Rage was trying it was the effort by ID Software to get out of the engine game and get it back into the gaming game. It didn't work out very well for them, unfortunately, because they kind of did a terrible job, if I'm honest. But, well, at least in my opinion. It's not to say that Rage is a crap game, that it's not a wow game by any means. Compare Rage to Doom, and Doom is a wow game, and Rage is just a meh game. It's whatever. I'll play it, and it's enjoyable, but I'll never play it again after I've finished it. Yes, so with all that said, hopefully some mods and some really interesting content from the users starts coming out, and we'll see what happens. So that is that. Now the best the best is kept to last, as always. GameStop have weighed in on the used game controversy, I guess, or stir up that's happening, where if you didn't know, Microsoft and also the PS4, it looks like it's rumored that you won't be able to buy used games on the new consoles. So the Xbox 720 and the PS4, you won't be able to use games on those, because you'll have to have an internet connection, and that'll sort of register the game to your account, and that's it for you. I find it hard to believe. I haven't really looked at the information available that substantiates those rumours, or whether people are just sort of whipping themselves into a frenzy, as is often the case on the internet. Whether they're whipping themselves into a frenzy or not about whether this is even true or not, I have no idea. But assuming it is true, GameStop have weighed in and they're not very happy. And if you read the news items coming in about GameStop and news game sales and stuff like that, when it was announced that the possibility of Microsoft and Sony not allowing used games, the share price for GameStop dropped something like 8% that day because something like half of their sales are around used game sales. So of course, as anyone knows, if anyone has had any dealings with GameStop, I think they're called EA Games here in Australia, you sell the game to them for pennies and they sell it for many dollars. So they're getting a fantastic return on the used game market. And of course, yeah, half their profits are based on that. That's half their profits. Think about that for a second. That's a massive amount. Yeah, massive. So they've weighed in and they're trying to highlight just how damaging removing the used game sale will be to new consoles and blah blah blah. Probably won't do anything. Now, that is not to say that I think used game sales should be removed. I don't. I think, what the hell, Microsoft and Sony? If that's true, then, geez, you're just nothing but a pack of money grubbers. But at the same time, used games do damage developers. And I'm of the opinion that used game sales actually damage developers more than piracy, because in my opinion, you look at a pirate might pirate the game, and if they like it, they'll probably buy it. And there's strong evidence to suggest that people who pirate games generally, after trying it out, tend to buy the game. Now, of course, that's not something like 90% by any means, but there is a strong presence of people who pirate games and use it as a demo system. They like it, and then they go and buy it. Of course, there's the small component of douchebags who try and say time after time, I'm pirating the game because they're too much money, or because I don't like the developer, or blah, blah, blah. That's just an excuse to pirate stuff. But by and large, the average gamer, if they pirate for a demo. They want to play the game, and if they like it, then they'll go and buy it. They'll go and support the developer. But a person who buys a used game is never supporting the developer, because the developer does not see 1 cent of that money. And they will never see any money from that person because they've already bought the game. It's not like that person's going to go and donate any money to the developer for that used game. They already paid for the used game. So in that way, I feel like it's worse than piracy, because even though there are a lot of pirates who will never buy the game, there are a lot of pirates who will buy the game. Whereas with the used game market, every one of those people who buy used games will not give any money to the developer unless they buy a new game. And truth be told, if you are buying used games, you probably do it often. And that's all you do. You rarely buy any new games. If you are a person that buys used games, because I'm not, then please let me know all about it in the comments and what your experience is, because I'm genuinely interested. As a person who just buys new games and by and large actually gets games via review copy, so that I can review them on my channel, of course, on my other channel, my indie channel. I just don't buy used games, really. I buy them on sale. I get them as review copies, or I pay full price for them. I don't usually... Well, I don't play consoles, so you're not able to buy PC games as second hand, because, yeah, you just can't. I don't know most games are on Steam and so on and so forth. So if you have a strong experience in buying used games, then please let me know all about it. And that is it for today. So lots of controversial topics, lots of rumours and innuendo. It's all going to play out, and who knows what will happen. Excitement, excitement, as is always in the gaming industry. So thanks for watching, everybody, and this has been your host, the Pixel Pirate, and we'll see you next time.